Good morning, lads. What is happening? And welcome back to the YouTube. So, today we're going to do a very simple video, and it's just going to be a day in life on a rest day, essentially, and just kind of run through my normal routine. What you've seen already, I've been out for my morning walk. So I wake up at 6 every morning. I will then, get myself up within the next 10 to 15 minutes, leave the house and go for a little round of steps around the apartment. And today we actually went in for a coffee. Usually we'd come back, obviously have our coffee here, but we went out for a coffee this morning to El Katrina's, which is really handy. It's only, for my Americano, I think it's like 150 for the coffee, so it's not bad at all. I feel like coffee in Dubai is overpriced, to say the least. Like, you could pay easily €5 to €10 for an Americano, so really can't go wrong with 150 for a coffee. And yeah, now we're back in the apartment, about to start work. Well, I already kind of started, so the first thing I will do is something I started recently, is actually just setting out a bit of a plan for the day. So you'll see I have my little notebook here, and it's nothing special. All I do is write down the kind of main bits that I have to do for the day, and something like recording the video. And yeah, once that is done, then I have already gotten back to messages that would have came in from last night, and now we're going to crack in with check-ins. So see how the lads are all doing, how the progress has been, and yeah, I'm going to let you in on the day. There's a few more bits planned for today, so I'll take you along with me and show you what an average kind of day looks like. Right, so that is the morning block of check-ins done. I'm actually a little bit behind on time this morning. I feel like every time I'm recording, I'm behind on time. But essentially, I ran down into the shops because I realised I've no breakfast, so it's I have no stuff for breakfast. It's very handy, the fact that I literally have a shop downstairs under the apartment that I can get all kind of like essentials. Picked up eggs, some cucumber, tomatoes and can of Monster, and actually treated myself to some chopped pineapple instead of an apple today. I say treat myself because it's fucking €3 for that tub, so it doesn't happen very often. And yeah, I'm gonna whip up some eggs. I've literally 20 minutes before I have to leave the house because I'm gonna go do some boxing. It was actually meant to be a Thai boxing session today, or well, it was on Wednesdays until they changed the timetable. For 11 o'clock on a Wednesday, it's going to be a boxing session. So I'm actually looking forward to it because my legs are absolutely fucked. Trained legs yesterday. I stretched them out in the evening because I was struggling in those Thai boxing sessions with kicking. But here we go. We're going to get the boxing session done. It's going to be a good one. Right, so as you can see, we are on the way. So, suck in my mouth. I managed to leave just about on time. I like to leave mine around half, just because of traffic. Like, you never know what you're going to get into. Some days I might get there in literally 5 minutes, or else some days it might take me half an hour. So I like to leave around half just to be safe. And worst case scenario, I'll take my time warming up. But yeah, I'm actually really full after that omelette. And I wouldn't mind. I was absolutely starving this morning. It was the first time in the diet where I was like, right, I'm actually feeling like I'm on a diet, which is not a bad thing whatsoever, you know what I mean? It's just a sign of the body changing essentially and getting used to being at this point, eating this amount of food, doing this amount of training. So it's not a bad thing at all, but now I am stuffed. I probably should have ate a smaller meal like my oats. That just won't sit on the stomach as much, but look, here we are. I'm having my Monster as well. For anyone using pre-workouts, Monsters or anything like that, obviously using caffeine to help you with training, make sure to have it about half an hour before you actually start training. I always see this, lads drinking Monsters during their sessions, and the problem with that is caffeine only kicks in after about half an hour, so you could be literally wasting that kick of caffeine that you're looking for, if that makes sense. So you might only get it peaking in your system towards the end of your session. So if you are using pre-workouts, anything to do with caffeine, have it before, 30 minutes before, and you're actually going to start your session on a high. We're on the way to the gym now. It's called the Golden Ring Boxing, and it's savage. It's very, very good. It's definitely not like a fancy gym by any means, but there is very good coaches in it, and it's just much better quality training, if that makes sense. I was in a different gym last year for a couple of weeks or a month or so, and as much as it was this big massive MMA gym, by far the biggest and most kind of impressive MMA gym I've ever been to, the training just wasn't great. Like, you know what I mean? It was the coaches didn't really care. Not that, look, it is what it is, you know what I mean? They're just there for the hour, you know, that kind of way. They didn't really, they didn't care. It was just like, right, jump on the skipping rope there, hit the bag, and then just spar. And there was no, like, there's no one being corrected on anything at all, you know what I mean? And I'd even know myself that I'm doing something wrong when, let's say, I get tired, and I want someone to pick me up on that. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to just be like, oh, well done, you know what I mean, go hit harder or whatever, like, you know what I mean? I can hit a bag hard on my own. That doesn't, you know, doesn't do anything for me. I want to be corrected on any mistakes that I'm making so I can actually get better. But this gym, again, not as fancy, but there's actually real pro boxers there, proper coaches, and it's just a much different environment. Everyone is a lot nicer, you could say. Like everyone, it's not like anyone has anything to prove in there. Do you know what I mean? It's just a very, very, very different setup altogether. So I do enjoy it. It's my first full month there so far, so I'm looking forward to getting a little bit better. I think, you know, with the size that I am now, I have a lot of power behind me. That's safe to say now. I'm strong, my punches are heavy, but my endurance is just not there. My speed is quite good as well for my weight, I would say. Quite fast, quite strong, but the endurance is just not there. And a big part of it is the fact that I prioritize my gym training still. So whenever I get into sessions, I'm quite fatigued. As I was saying, like yesterday I was training legs, and you know, it's going to be heavy keeping up with all the footwork and everything like that, and then shoulders as well. I'm still doing a lot of work on my shoulders, and it's obviously bodybuilding style training, so the muscle in itself is just fatigued, and I'm not necessarily able to keep up with some of the work, if that makes sense. I'm just fatiguing a lot quicker than I'd like to, but it is what it is. Excuse me. I'm going to make that more of a focus after the photo shoot, to adjust my volume in my gym sessions slightly so I can actually perform a little bit better in my boxing sessions. But overall, physique is the number one priority right now, and I'm going to stick to that. until the photo shoot prep is done. But we're only around the corner now. The traffic is not too bad today, so I'm going to show you in the gym as well. See you, thank you. Thank you.
Every scar and every doubt in night. Bell rings once, whole world goes mute. One step forward, that Liverpool truth. They counted him out, said that's the end. He bowed his head, found faith, went down.
Right, that's done and dusted. As you can see, I'm fucked. As much as it's a rest day, it's still an intense enough session. But I was actually very, very, very happy with the performance today on my side. Just being able to keep up throughout the whole session. Shoulders still fucking falling off me, but it was a lot better than usual. I was able to really push it, especially in the last round. Done a little bit of sparring, which is always nice. I'd be always looking forward to that. And yeah, feeling good, feeling fresh. 12 o'clock now, so the day is off to a great start. I've check-ins done, session done. Have to go home, have a meal. Yeah, I don't know if you can see. I'm sitting on a plastic bag because I'd be fucking drenched, literally. Be absolutely soaked. I actually want to show you some of the cars here. So I don't know if you can see that. Orange Urus. That's a fucking lime Aston Martin. Absolutely nuts. Go home now. Get back to work, I'd imagine. Hopefully it's 12 o'clock now, 8 AM at home. Some of the lads should be up replying to their check-ins, so I'm gonna go through that, obviously shower, eat, and get back to rest of the other bits that you don't necessarily see. So the likes of content editing, the likes of YouTube, obviously the podcast being there. I need to plan that out for tomorrow because I'm recording another episode, which I'm actually really enjoying. The podcast side of things. At the start I was like, fucking hell, am I trying to bite off more than I can chew here with doing the podcast and everything like that? But honestly, really fucking enjoying it, and it actually fires me up a little bit. As much as like the goal of it was to like help men in general, help them, you know, develop a better mindset and just be mentally stronger. I actually find that talking about these topics, it actually gets me going. So I absolutely love it. You could say it's for my own benefit as well. So yeah, hopefully I'm not going to be stuck in traffic for too long coming back. And yeah, I'll catch you in a bit. Welcome back. Right, so it's been a couple of hours. It's actually nearly been 5 hours since I last opened the camera up, but I've basically been home, had 2 meals, had my oats, had a chicken and rice meal just there, and I've just been working away. I'm doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff that you don't necessarily see, and it's kind of quite boring stuff anyway, like content which you'll probably see on Instagram across the week. Doing some ads, bits and bobs like that don't necessarily involve clients or anything like that in a sense. But what I'm going to do next is I actually have feedback to do for one of my clients' training videos. So I'm going to record that, send it over to him, but actually let you see some of the tips and cues that I give him, because I do think it's going to be very valuable for anyone doing these exercises. And Yeah, overall, training videos probably some of the most important stuff when it comes to actually making progress when it comes to your physique. So again, super important that you do that, even whether you have a coach or not. Even if you do it yourself, go over those videos, because you will be able to see, you know, any mistakes that you are actually making along the way. Jack, what is going on, bro? So we're going to run through some of these videos that you sent over. First things first, we have the single arm bicep curl. You have it set up with the bench, is absolutely spot on. If you don't have the preacher curl station, you could say, and you actually nailed this one. I was very happy with it. So a couple of things that I want you to keep an eye out on is make sure to sink your armpit right down into the bench, and the reason for this is to create as much stability as possible. One thing that I do think you could improve on is actually just slowing down the movement, which is going to be the cue for a lot of these exercises, but just controlling everything from start to finish, the way you let the weight down, hold it at the bottom for a second, and then drive the weight back up. And again, trying to maintain that stability all the way through, not letting the dumbbell or your arm go back and forth. And again, control. We're not just trying to throw the weight up and down. Slowly control it. See how your upper body is moving here to help you kind of leverage your weight. We want to avoid that. Let that arm go all the way down, and then again, control it all the way back up. Overhead rope extensions. So for this, what I want you to do is, again, slow things down, right? First thing that, like, the first couple of reps are very good, nice and controlled, but then as you're starting to fatigue, you're kind of just throwing the weight up to get the weight up there, which I want you to put in effort, there's no doubt about it, but I want to see more control. I want you to actually be able to use your triceps to move the weight forward. So every single rep, let that weight go all the way back, or let those handles go all the way back, and hold it there for 2 seconds before you try to press over. And again, that's what it is. It's a press. I'm not trying to throw the weight up overhead, slowly trying to extend my arms all the way up. No, sorry, single arm tricep extension. So for this, I would actually use a different attachment rather than the D handle. So what I would either look for here is a cuff, which you can put on and literally slide your hand into, or else I would actually take it all off completely, and see the ball you have over the carabiner. I would actually grab onto that or above it. It's going to feel a lot more comfortable. So that's the first thing that I want you to start with. Second thing is, see how your elbow is moving forward as you're going into the stretch. I want you to get rid of that. So keep your elbow tucked into your side and then press down into the ground. It's going to feel a lot better on your tricep. So even from this starting position, again, keeping the elbow tucked into your side, and you're trying to close the gap between your forearm and your bicep in the stretch, but without letting your elbow move forward. Single arm bicep curl. What I actually want you to do and try for me next time is doing them facing the opposite way. So right now, I think because the cable doesn't go all the way down, you're not able to get the full stretch. So what I want you to do is actually turn around and let your arm get pulled back slightly just behind you, so then you can open it all up and focus on bringing it all the way back up. Then the stretch is just going to feel 10 times better. Dumbbell chest press. This is actually a really solid set, but there's one thing that I want you to watch out for, and see how at the start you have the dumbbells essentially in line, you could say, okay? And what we want to do here is, imagine you are trying, you have a bar in your hand rather than dumbbells, and you're trying to bend it a little bit. And what this is going to do, so again, it's going to internally rotate your fists, your elbows, and your shoulders. And what this is going to do is help you protect your shoulders a little bit. So what you're going to see is elbows coming into your side a little bit more, holding that stretch for a second, and then pressing back up. So rather than keeping the dumbbells directly in line, I want you to tuck your elbows in a touch. Make sure that you're imagining like having a bar in your hand and then trying to twist it a little bit or bend it. That's going to help you massively with, in the long run, just keeping your shoulders healthy and making sure that there's no injuries. Single arm pull down. The way you're doing it, is not bad. But if we add a seat into this, it's going to be, for one, a lot more stable, and two, you're going to be able to use a lot more weight. Okay, so next time you're doing this, I want you to bring over a free bench and push it back a little bit so you can extend all the way out with your arm, and then think about driving, not just pulling back behind you, but driving your elbow down into the hip to really contract those lats as hard as possible. The chest press, this was actually very, very good, and you can already see what I was talking about when it comes to the dumbbells. So because the machine kind of forces you to be tucked into that position, you can already see those elbows coming in a lot more. So this is exactly what I want you to think of when you go into your dumbbell presses. But this is overall very, very good. I can see you working hard on this. So right now what we want to do is just keep this momentum going and really work on pushing yourself to absolute failure. And that's one part of it. But the second part of it is actually learning to push through with good form and not just, you know, wiggling your way up there. So again, making sure that you're controlling the weight all the way down and not trying to adjust the form to get that extra rep. If it's there, great, but if it isn't, we don't want to kind of shift the shoulders or shift the hips to try getting it, if that makes sense. What is going on? So essentially the day is almost over. The day of work is over. I've just had a couple of calls with two of the lads, just kind of going over plans, making sure everything is all good, making sure they're in the good place, and resetting some targets for them for the next few months. So that was good. It's always nice to catch up with the lads. And it's 6 o'clock now, and I got a bit of a fright when I looked at my watch, because it's 6 o'clock and I've only 4,000 steps and I have another 6,000 to get. So we are out walking, and thankfully literally outside of our apartment there is a park which has a 2 kilometer loop. So I'm gonna do the loop, then I'm gonna go to the shop, get some food for dinner tonight, and yeah, that's gonna be essentially the day done. I'll probably get back to some more messages later on today when they come through, and this is it. This is a boring day in the life of an online coach in Dubai. I don't know what people imagine my days look like when it comes to just the everyday, whether I'd be out on the beach fucking driving around Lamborghinis. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like that. 90% of the day is spent behind a laptop or a phone, which I'm absolutely grateful for. I absolutely love what I do, and yeah, this is it. This is what I will continue to do. So thank you very much for watching. If you have gotten this far, I do appreciate it, and I'll catch you in the next one.